Hey everybody, it's Justin from Bittner Built, and today we're going to do another 10 for under $20 video. My last one was super successful, and a big part of that was people responding in the comments saying thank you for actually putting out stuff that's different, that's not what everybody else has been feeding us. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. And I'll make you the exact same promise I made in the last video. All of this stuff is mine. It's been in my shop for at least a year. I use this stuff. None of it's sponsored. None of it's just Amazon stuff. So this is all stuff that I actually have put through its paces, and I've felt that it's, you know, interesting enough to share out with you. So let's get into it today on Bittner Built. Number one is the Stealth Respirator. It retails on Amazon for around $15, and you might have seen this in some of my videos. This is the mask that I wear a majority of the time. I call it my Bane mask. And this guy is super, super comfortable. I have to be completely honest, and there was a period of time where I stopped wearing a mask. And it was because my other stuff was very uncomfortable. When you have an uncomfortable mask, it really pushes you not to want to wear it. So it's very important that you get one that's super comfortable for yourself. This one's comfortable for my facial structure. It might not be for everybody, but I do suggest you try this one because I really like it. And it's at a good price point too. So this being an N100 mask keeps out dust and particles up to 0.03 microns. It's not good for fumes and sprays and things. So this is strictly what I wear for wood. It has removable filters on both sides, so I can just update those. It has its exit port down here on the bottom. The mask itself has these green, really soft covered straps. The elastic is on the other side, so the green side goes against your skin with these two flexible hooks that you can just hook behind your head. So I keep it like this a lot of the time until I'm ready to use it. And then it has this strap, which I can position almost anywhere on the top to back of my head, which is really nice. That's some of the downfall of some of these other masks. I get it into a really comfortable position, really nice. And then it has another magical feature, in that it makes you talk like Bane, Batman. Yes, you feel powerful. You want to take on Gotham, and you want to make sure that you sand all of the wood in Gotham, too. So yes, you get to entertain your friends and family and your children and just yourself. Whenever I'm walking around the shop all by myself, I find myself talking to myself like Bane. And you think sawdust is your ally, Batman? I was born in it, molded by it. So yes, the Bane voice comes with it for free at no extra charge. Now, one other thing that's great about this mask is sometimes I wear glasses. I wear contacts most of the time, but you know, sometimes your contacts just don't want to be in. And so if I'm out here with my glasses, this does not fog them up. Might make me dizzy, but it won't fog up my glasses. For number two, we're staying with the glasses theme, and that is with the No Cry safety glasses. These retail for around $15 on Amazon, and I've had this pair for the past 5 years, and this is my primary pair. I have a Milwaukee pair, I have a couple others, and this is the one that I go to. It lives in a protective case over by my miter saw, and the reason why this has been a big success for me is because if I do wear my glasses out in the shop, these still go on them fine. So that is a big plus if you're somebody who wears glasses. Now, if I'm not wearing my glasses, this is still a great protective glass, and that's because it has full side protection and even some additional diagonal under protection on these. 5 years on, they're still very, very clear. They, you know, glasses are easy to scratch up and then it gets really annoying. But, you know, like my Milwaukees, for example, that I have, I can't wear them with glasses on. It just doesn't happen. They're floating out in space right now. So the fact that these are usable for people with glasses and they're very protective. They also have adjustable sliders right here based on the size of your face. So I find these to be a really great glass, and it's definitely the one that I use the most in my shop. This is the PowerTech concave and convex sanding profiles. They're made out of rubber. They are really awesome, and they sell for only $10 on Amazon. Awesome. These guys, what you're able to do is if you're going to sand a rounded groove, you can just wrap some sandpaper around here, put it in a groove, and go ahead and sand. Each one of these have their actual dimensional number on them, so you can say, oh, let me grab the 1/4. On the other side of them, they have the convex side or concave side. I don't remember which is which anymore. I need to go back to school. But for this side, we can take a rounded object and slide it back and forth, and we're going to be able to sand it really good. The benefit of these is, A, you're not ruining your fingertips getting into these spaces. And since it's this soft rubber, you're not running the risk of marring your project with these, which is awesome too. They're also very, very flexible, and being rubber, they're very durable as well. For $10 for this whole kit, that's awesome. You also get these foam sanding pads. I don't really use those. This was what I bought it for. And so for $10, I think it's a great buy. Number 4 is the Milwaukee Quick Change Hole Saw Arbor. It retails for $25 currently, but when I bought it, it was $19.99. So I'm going to say counts, because when I bought it, it was under 20 bucks. And this thing is so important to me that I wanted to share it to you. So that's why it's in the video, even though it's a smidge outside of my 10 for 20 range. Now, why is this one so important to me? When I was talking about the respirator, I was talking about when you hate something, you don't use it. And for the longest time, I hated these things, and it was because of the arbors that they come with. The typical arbor that comes with one of these kits, Milwaukee or anybody else, is a straight arbor that is held in place by torque, where you're torquing it down on this, and it's fixed in place. Now, when you use it, then it becomes even tighter on here. And so when it comes time to then remove it after the fact, sometimes it's impossible. Now, some of them have an additional nut in there that you're supposed to tighten, but even still, you're tightening it down on that nut. And it can get incredibly, incredibly tight. And so I hated that. Sometimes you have to put it into a vise and throw a metal rod in here to crank it down to try to get it off. And I just hated the whole process. Actually, it was even a little tight right now. So on the off chance one day at a big box store, I saw this guy and I'm like, huh, let me check this out. And so this attaches a different way. It first starts by screwing on in the same way, but it has these 2 pegs on it where all you have to do when you get it screwed on is push these 2 pegs up, and now it is holding on to your hole saw. And so all of the pressure is being put on those 2 pegs, not on the screw threads. And when you are finished, you are able to just gingerly pull down and spin it off. And it magically comes off every single time very easily. And so it took something that I hated and turned it into something that, like, now I don't avoid this tool at all. It's super useful. I just made a 6-inch hole in my wall for a air conditioner vent, and it took me 10 seconds with a big hole saw. So that's what these are here for, and this thing makes it enjoyable to use these. So I highly recommend this guy. Number 6 is the Canary Safety Cardboard Box Cutter and Knife. This guy retails for $9.50. This thing, I really love it. I've had it for many years. I actually lost it, or maybe my children broke it or misplaced it, and so I bought a second one. So that tells you that I really like this thing, and it actually serves purpose that we rebought it after it disappeared. What this does is, first off, it's a safety knife. So rather than using a razor knife when you're cutting boxes, this guy can touch your skin. It can't cut you if you really did something crazy, but it's dull enough that I trust it with my children. So let's put it that way. Now, if you've ever wondered what's in this ugly looking cart that's right here, this is where we keep our recycling cardboard. We have to bundle up our cardboard every 2 weeks to put it out for recyclers. So this is a pretty hefty box. And I'm going to do it even while there's 2 sides in here. And I just cut through that super quick and easy. This can also cut shapes into cardboard really easily. So let's say you're doing like a pattern or something. Boom, a heart. I love the canary. See? So, you know, it's a cheap little tool. I trust it with my children, and it's very effective for what it does. So I definitely keep this in my house for my family and myself. Number 6 is the Rockler Clamp It Clips. These retail for a 4-pack for $10 on Rockler. If you buy it on Amazon or elsewhere, I think they charge $7 or $8 shipping for these guys. But they are still a very affordable product and under $20 even if you buy it in that source. Now, what these guys do maybe is a little bit different than maybe some of the marketing points at. I bought these early in my woodworking journey, and when I bought them, I thought that they would be 90-degree clamps. So put that out of your mind. What these are good for is for dry fitting. So I'm building a big cabinet carcass for over in the corner right now. It's really nice for me to be able to dry fit this and it stay rigid while I'm dry fitting it right now. See, look, it's actually holding these pieces up in the air. And so then what I can do is remove these one by one as I'm working on the cabinet, but the cabinet is still rigid, so I'm able to use clamps on faces on here as I work on this side. So it's great for doing dry fittings and then the process while you actually assemble. Now, another thing that it's good for is glue ups. So, you know, when you're applying glue to two surfaces for a 90-degree, it gets slippery. And they want to move out, and then you also have to grab the clamp, and they're moving while you're trying to get the clamp in place. Well, if you just throw one of these guys on there and spend a few seconds getting it into place, it will reasonably hold it at the 90 right there while I go grab my clamp, get it over here, get it into position. Now I have two hands to use on my clamp, and then I just check it one more time before I actually tighten it down. So this is a third hand for me in a lot of the projects where it's holding something for me while I'm using my other two hands to get a clamp in place. So that's really the way I look at it. I don't think you should look at it as a 90-degree clamp. This will not guarantee 90 degrees, but it definitely is something that helps you get to 90 degrees. And at $10 for a 4-pack, the extra hand when you're doing stuff, and maybe it's also a situation where you can't get a clamp into a weird, you know, design that you're doing, but you can put that right on top. And so, you know, in certain cases, this might be a good option for you. It's also good if you're just doing a straight up glue up, not putting any type of attachments in there. You know, this could hold your piece while the glue is drying. So I really do think these are definitely worth the $10 purchase price. Number 7 is the Bench Dog Blade Lock. And I know you might look at this and say, Justin, come on, like this thing. I have to tell you that when my table saw was brand new, I was loosening the bolt and it was in there pretty good, and then it went real quick. I cut 3 of my knuckles on the blade, and then the wrench slammed into the cast iron top of my brand new table saw, and I put a nice dent right in front of the blade area on my table saw. So as I stood there bleeding, I'm like, no, but I was saying no because I dented my brand new tool, and I was really upset by it. So right after that, I went and bought this. And so for $10, it makes it safe to change out your blade because you're covering over the blade so it can't cut you. And then it has these arms that come out, so when the wrench goes, like what happened to me, it lands on this plastic instead of denting my cast iron top. So it's a simple, easy design. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's an affordable price. So I think that, you know, whether you have a saw that has a blade lock, mine does, so the blade doesn't spin, but some older saws don't have a lock, so you actually have to hold the blade in place. And so for those table saws, this is even more important, where it's holding the blade while you're moving the arbor nut. Number 8 is the Worksite 102-piece drill bit set with roll case, and it retails for $8 on Amazon. $8 is cheap, Justin. Wow. And so a little description. This is my tool bag that I keep inside my truck at all times, and I need everything possible in here for whatever situation arises out on a job site, let's say. So, of course, I've had the ubiquitous cases like this forever for multiples inside here. And I said, you know what, this just takes up too much space and I don't keep it well organized and it's not that great. So I wanted to experiment with a roll case. And this one being $8, cool. That's the right price. I also bought several other ones up to $50. And the honest answer was this one had the best layout for me at $8. So I was very happy with that. Now, of course, it came with a ton of its own drill bits and stuff, and they're not in here anymore. I use them as cheapo disposable ones somewhere else. But what I was able to do inside this roll was get 3 full sets of drill bits. So not only do I have my regular, standard wood drill bits, but then I have a full spade bit set, and then I have a full concrete set. So concrete and mortar, so including some really big ones. And then of course the things that I did keep from in here, it did have a nice little bit holder and a attachment guy. So I kept those in there. That's from the original. But overall I just wanted it, for $8, this was a great price to be able to fit 3 full sets in my bag, roll it up. They don't fall out, which is awesome. And it's about the same thickness. It's smaller this way. It's a little bit taller, but I actually find this fits really good in certain pockets. Fits really good in certain pockets. So it actually stays upright inside my tool bag. And it works really, really well. So, if you'd like to be able to carry more than this guy carries in around the exact same space, this is a very good option. Number 9 is the Rockler 20-piece screwdriver bit set with carabiner clip and holder. It retails for $18.50 on Amazon. This guy actually lives on my tool bag as well that goes in my car, right on the outside. And it's the exact same thing. I was tired of these guys, and so I wanted a better solution for my screwdriver bits. And so you can see how little space this takes up compared to this big guy. And in these things, I hate like the little flippy things that they have, and it's hard plastic to get the things in and out. This guy's rubber. You can bang it up against stuff. It doesn't matter. It can flex. It doesn't mar anything. It doesn't take up much space. And it's really, really good at holding all the bits in there. I mean, they do not move. And it's very simple to get them in and out easily. So everything about this makes me love it. It comes with the carabiner. And, inevitably, as these bits will break, you're able to put the other bits in this as well. So I like the holder, which was kind of the main focus of the purchase overall. But of course, hey, they gave some nice bits with it as well that have actually been holding up really nice through use. So I think that this is a great product for any mobile tool bag. My last tool, my number 10, is not a woodworking tool, but it is a tool that I really love and has saved my bacon quite a bit. And that is the No Easy zip tie cutter, and it retails for $15.99. And this thing is amazing at cutting zip ties. Now, I made a joke in another video about how I own the Guinness Book of World Records for most zip ties used. And that was a joke, and I said it was a joke in that one. But I actually did apply for it because I owned a large Christmas light show public event that we did, and I had a 30-foot tall by 150-foot wide stage that we just slathered with animated Christmas lights for a show. And every single one of those lights had to have at least 2 zip ties put on them. So I have put on hundreds of thousands of zip ties. No question. And so when we found this tool, it was like gold for us. So if you use zip ties with any regularity, even if you don't attach the zip tie 100% tight, this tool will then tighten the zip tie for you and then cut it off cleanly right at the head of the zip tie. And it's just fast and easy, and you're not going to cut yourself using a knife or have to have scissors or do the twist method or any of the other things that I've played around with zip ties. It just works. There we go. So for $15, if you are somebody who uses zip ties, this is a magic tool that saved me countless hours during the long nights when I got that light show all prepared. Being up on a crane in the cold, this thing was my best friend. So that was my second 10 for 20 video. I know I cheated on one of those items, but when I bought it, it was $19. So I counted as okay in this one. And it's a good, really good tool. So I had to include it in this one. If you're interested in any of this stuff, I have it linked down in the description of the video down below. So you can use those links to get right to the products. All of them are stuff that I own that I enjoy. So I was happy to share it out. I hope you will consider liking or subscribing. Our channel's still very new, so that's what will help us grow. And of course, stay safe in the shop. I will see you in the next video.